much. Now, honorable members, I have to make an announcement. I have to inform the members that the honorable chairman had received a letter dated 18th of July 2016 from Sri Navjot Singh Sidhu, a nominated member, resigning his seat in the Rajya Sabha. The honorable chairman has accepted his resignation with effect from 18th of July 2016. Now, Sri Tiruchi Siva.
Chief Minister candidate. CM candidate बनके जाए.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. Sir, Kashmir is in danger, spinning out of control. The valley has not, in the recent. Sir, Kashmir is in danger, spinning out of control. And the valley in the recent history has not come across such an upset. The wounded psyche has to be understood sensitively, and the government must keep in mind or understand the fact that the alienation and the disaffection in the minds of the people in Kashmir cannot be removed by bullets and police measures. Sir, Kashmir is an integral part of India, and our constitution under Article 377 has provided special status to Kashmir. I should say, sir, at this juncture, that it was one Gopalasamy Iyengar from Tanjavur in Tamil Nadu, who was a minister without portfolio in the first union cabinet, and the former Diwan to Maharaja Hari Singh of Jammu and Kashmir, and a member of the Constituent Assembly, was the chief architect of Article 370. Sir, this special status has to be protected to ensure that the identity and culture of the Kashmiri people will be safeguarded. The BJP, which is a part of the coalition government in Jammu and Kashmir, has now and then expressed their intention to withdraw the special status provided to Kashmir under Article 370. Sir, we have to reassure in this situation that no force on the earth can take away the special status to Kashmir. Sir, the unrest now in Kashmir is not just a law and order situation. Being a democratic country, we have to seek to political approach. Even in the year 1947, during the partition, when there were communal riots in the eastern and western frontiers, there was not even one communal riot in Kashmir. Even Mahatma Gandhiji said that breeze was blowing from Kashmir to the other parts of the country. So, sir, mere power flowing out of the guns cannot be a complete or adequate solution. What we need is a healing touch. Political process must start. Even Atal Bihari Vajpayee initiated to hold talks with the Kashmir. It is not only under the framework of within the framework of the constitution, it should be within the framework of humanity. So, sir, to win the minds of the hearts and minds of the people in Kashmir is the foremost agenda of the government. And we again urge, sir, the whole of India, which owes a lot to Kashmir, are with the people there, and we share their agony and pain. Sir, again we say that it is a doable exercise. Kindly don't resort to force. You assure or you give in clear the security forces must be instructed very clearly that force must not be exercised on civilians and unarmed people. Force must be the last resort. Only a statesman approach is the need of the hour. So political process must start, and we have to win the hearts and minds of the people in Kashmir. We are all with the people of Kashmir, and so, sir, we share their agony and pain. Kindly bring a solution at the earliest. Thank you very much.
Dr. Karan Singh ji.
Good. Very good. Very good.
The Vice Chairman, sir. Somebody described me, I think it was Somnath Da, as a witness to history. I have spent 70 years watching, participating in and witnessing developments in Jammu and Kashmir. And I find it difficult on this occasion to find adequate words to express my grief and anguish at what is happening there. जैसे बहादुर शाह जफर का शेर है, बात करनी मुझे मुश्किल अभी कभी ऐसी तो न थी, जैसी अब है वहाँ महफिल कभी ऐसी तो नहीं. This time there has been an unprecedented outburst of frustration, of rage and of anger. Shri Ghulam Nabi Azad in his effective opening speech has made many points which I do not want to reiterate. He's mentioned several factors that have been responsible over the years and the decades to build up this sort of resentment. But what has happened there, the grievous is to hundreds of people. They are our citizens. If young people are blinded, our young citizens are blinded. We have to have some compassion and understanding. Whenever there's a small accident, 2 or 3 people die, we get up and say how sorry we are, we send our condolences. What about what's happening in Kashmir? Is the nation awake and aware of the immensity of what is happening there and of the depths of the frustration and pain of the people? We've got to share that pain. If we say that they are part of India, then India has got to share the pain and the frustration and the rage that is there and try and see what can be done to look into the matter. The LOP talked of the use of disproportionate force. If that has in fact happened, Mantriji, then it should be inquired into, because that is also not acceptable. Sometimes force has to be used, but disproportionate force is surely something which cannot be condoned. So that has to be looked into. And as I said this time, the youth particularly and the intelligentsia in the valley are alienated. The presses have stopped printing, the newspapers are not coming out any longer. There's been a curfew for 10 days. Can you imagine what it would be like to live for 10 days without being able to go out of one's house even to get medicines or to get essential commodities? And it is going on. Marriages have been put off. Apart from marriages, funerals. The whole situation has become such that the entire valley is in the grip of some kind of a terrible crisis. And I'm not sure whether we fully understand or appreciate the depth of this whole affair. Now I know Pakistan will obviously fan the flames. Pakistan ne to shuru se kiya. 1947 se, before my father signed the instrument of accession, even before that Pakistan had intervened with the tribal invasion in October of 1947. And it will continue to do it. It has done it all through. But simply to blame everything on the foreign hand, I would submit to this Honourable House, is being unrealistic. We have to accept that we are facing a serious problem of trust, of credibility in the valley. A very serious problem. And that problem has to be tackled, and we have to look within. आत्म निरीक्षण करना भी बड़ा आवश्यक होता है. हम दूसरे पे आरोप तो लगा सकते हैं, लेकिन आत्म निरीक्षण करें, बैठ के सोचें क्या कारण. देखिए, हमारा देश सत्यमेव जयते पर निर्धारित है. वो हमारा राष्ट्रीय वाक्य है. सत्यमेव जयते नानृतम सत्येन पंथा विततो देवयान येनाक्रमन्तो ऋषियो ह्याप्तकामा यत्र तत् सत्यस्य परमं निधानम. तो सत्यमेव जय पे अगर निर्धारित हमारा देश है, हमें सत्य को कभी कभी कड़वा सत्य भी लगता है. सत्य हमेशा मीठा नहीं होता. It's not always a comfortable truth. Sometimes we have to face uncomfortable situations, and we are facing that today. And we have to start. There's only one way we can face it. You can't face it with a war with Pakistan. You can't face it with guns. You have got to face it with dialogue. In a democracy, the only way you can get over the most difficult of problems is through dialogue. But it must be a dialogue that cuts across all barriers with all stakeholders. Remember, there are stakeholders not only in Kashmir, there are stakeholders in Jammu and Ladakh also. The name of the state is not Kashmir, the name is Jammu and Kashmir. The state which my forefathers created and for which my father signed the instrument of accession is not only the Kashmir Valley. Kashmir Valley is an important part of it. But there are stakeholders in Jammu, there are stakeholders in Kashmir. Within the valley, there are mainstream political parties, there are regional parties, there are even separatist parties. You must talk to them. After all, without talking, how can we come to any kind of conclusion? to say we are not going to talk, we are not going to talk with this and we are not, that is no way. Even Mao Zedong, as you know, said ta ta tan tan, talk talk, fight fight. You must continue to talk. Even at the height of the Second World War, Germany and Britain were still talking. And we go into a sulk. We're not going to talk to Pakistan, we're not going to talk to the separatists, we're not going to do this. That is not the way to tackle it. We're a great country with a large heart and a great history. And we have got to talk, you've got to have this dialogue. Over the years, sir, there have been many attempts. I'll draw particularly Raja Singh ji's attention to this. Kitne hue? There have been conferences, there have been round tables, there have been interlocutors, there have been a whole slew, a whole series of attempts. But what happens? They are never followed up. एक बात चलती है, बात होती है, then हवा में रह जाती है. Nobody follows it up. Do we have now the political will? And I'm not talking in terms of parties. This is not a party affair, as Ghulam Nabi said when he opened. He said, we are not looking at this in a partisan manner. This is a national crisis. It's a national challenge. Do we have the political will now? Can the Congress and the BJP and all the other parties, the socialists and other parties, regional parties, can they help? I'm not sure whether a parliamentary delegation by itself will really be very helpful, क्योंकि सब जाएंगे अलग-अलग 15-20-30 parties हो जाएंगे फिर अपनी बात करेंगे. I think you have to have an empowered group of 2 or 3 people who will really follow this up seriously and take it to some logical conclusion. There are many ideas. We all have many ideas. I can talk for hours on what ideas can be done. But is there anybody who's listening? Is there anybody who's prepared? We were also, I must admit, we were in power for 10 years, the Congress. We had many initiatives, but nothing happened ultimately. We are frozen with the status quo today, which is really not acceptable either to the valley or to Jammu or to Ladakh. Everybody is dissatisfied in the state. You go to Jammu, there is the same thing. Ghulam Nabi ji knows. The youth come there and say, what are we going to do? We are uneducated. You go to Ladakh, they have got their own problem. So we have got to do something serious about it. If you really want to avoid this situation in the future, and if you want to calm the situation down now, which itself is going to be very difficult, we've got to break away from the old molds of thinking, and we've got to move towards a new dynamism, a new commitment, cutting across all differences. And sir, Derek is gone now. He spoke of the soul of Kashmir. I'm talking now only of the Kashmir Valley, that beautiful valley, more beautiful than any place in the world. And yet look at the situation today, it is burning. Those chinars are on fire. It was a heaven on earth at one time. Are we converting it into a hell? What are we doing? So the whole soul of Kashmir is the home of Rishis and Sufis. It is the home of Lal Ded and Sheikh Nuruddin Nurani. It is the home of Hazrat Wal and Kheer Bhavani. It is the whole of Amarnath and Chirare Sharif, of Chhati Padshahi and Sharika Bhagwati, or on the same hill on different sides, home Makhdoom Sahib and Sharika Bhagwati. So that is the soul of Kashmir. The soul of Kashmir used to be the unique culture, the unique Rishi cult, the Sufi cult. And that today is being destroyed by hostile forces from outside, by propaganda, by brainwashing of young people. How do we meet with that? How do we address that problem? That's the challenge before us. It's a challenge before all of us, particularly before the government in power. And my submission to the House is this: let us on this occasion, while conveying our deep sympathy to the people who have been, to the whose lives have been disrupted by all of this, and the nearest of kin of those who have died, those who have injured, let us send our deep sympathies and let us commit ourselves in this House to make a final effort to break this deadlock in Jammu and Kashmir and finally move towards a mutually acceptable solution. Thank you, sir.
धन्यवाद. श्री भूपेंद्र यादव जी, श्री नरेंद्र स्वयं.
कह दिया था मैंने, थोड़ा सा
whatever Dr. Karan Singh has said here, that was his view about 30-40 years back, and he has expressed his full concern on Kashmir. So I, on behalf of Biju Janata Dal Odisha, we respected chairman, the news coming from Jammu and Kashmir is quite disturbing to say the least. A terrorist is killed in a police encounter, and in its aftermath, the way law and order situation has worsened there. We all are very concerned with these developments, and as far as my knowledge goes, normalcy has yet not been restored. Sir, let there be no doubt that Kashmir is an integral part of India, but we also have to ensure that there is no feeling of an alienation in the local people. For that, views from all the democratic forces need to be solicited, and all constructive suggestions should be looked into. Our focus must be on winning the hearts of the local population in Kashmir. If there has been any lapse or excesses by the security forces and police, their proper inquiry must be ordered and action should be taken against those culprits. We also need to be very alert so that any inimical country or extremist force does not try to fish in the troubled water of Kashmir. But at the same time, we must try to find out why the situation came to such a pass. Was it the failure of our intelligence system, the local administration, or our police policies are faulty? An honest introspection is the need of the hour. Terrorism and its ideology has today become a bane for the entire humanity, and especially in the age of technology and social media, its dimension have multiplied. Therefore, we need to make a thorough assessment of our strategy of countering such terrorist activities. Today, the country has been forced to pay with sweat and blood while tackling this menace. So its time is on. We rose to the occasion. Our suggestion of a BJD to the government will be that all party delegation must visit Kashmir at this hour of crisis. It will give a clear message to the Kashmir people that we are concerned about their well-being. Today, we also need to give a clear message to the world that when it comes to the issue of national security and sovereignty, the entire country is one and unavoidable. Thank you.
Shri D. Raja.
Thank you, sir. I rise to speak with a great amount of pain in my mind. Sir, a few days back, the Home Minister telephoned and he asked, the situation is such, if your party has got any suggestion, you can get back. Sir, I asked him whether the government is thinking to call an all-party meeting. He didn't give me any specific answer. Now I take this opportunity. The government must consider convening an all-party meeting so that a broad common position can be evolved that will help in solving the problem that we are witnessing today. Sir, the situation everybody has spoken is grim and alarming. Kashmir is considered to be the paradise on the earth, but the people, the Kashmiris, are passing through hell of tragedies. Now the present tragedy is one such tragedies. If I go by the media reports, the Prime Minister himself has admitted there was excess use of force which caused difficulties for common people. Sir, hundreds of our young children are likely to lose their visions. Several people lost their lives. Even security personnel lost their lives. Why this conflict between our own citizens and our own security forces? As a parliament, we should think over why this conflict between our own citizens and between our own security forces. Is Kashmir a law and order problem? I am asking, is Kashmir a law and order problem? Kashmir is always a political problem and it needs a political solution for which the parliament will have to think over what kind of political process that government can initiate. It is not that you are just going to initiate a political process. In the past also there was political process. Every successive government tried a political process. Now your government also will have to try. And there is a government, coalition government, you are there. And here there is a government, you are there. And this is where the political process must be initiated. I had been to Kashmir in several government delegations and non-government delegations. I have come across several cross-sections of the people. Sir, the people are really facing a tragic situation. And in one meeting, I heard about the tragic plight of semi-widows. In fact, it reminded me the Tamil widows in Sri Lanka. They are also semi-widows. They do not know whether their husbands are alive or they are declared to be disappeared. The similar situation in Jammu and Kashmir Valley in particular, semi-widows. And I came to know many tragic stories, sir. I have great respect for the intelligence of the youth of Jammu and Kashmir. They are extremely intelligent, they are extremely articulate, they are well informed about the developments not only within the country, around the country and all over the world. And they are so intelligent, the Kashmiri young people. We should have trust in the Kashmiri young people. And there is discontent among these young people. How to overcome this discontent? How to win the confidence of the young people of Jammu and Kashmir? How to win the confidence of the people of Jammu and Kashmir? When I say the political process, I urge upon the government must have open mind to talk to all stakeholders. Now Dr. Karan Singh was talking about stakeholders in Jammu, stakeholders in Leh Ladakh, stakeholders in Kashmir. Yes, government must be prepared, must have the open mind to talk to all stakeholders, including separatists. In one of the delegations, even I could have the opportunity to meet several separatist leaders. What I am trying to say, we must find a political solution. That can be possible only by winning the confidence of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, for which the government must initiate a political process. To begin with, I am asking you, this Armed Forces Special Powers Act, and repeatedly that issue is raised. Even Mr. Chidambaram was present some time back. He was the then Home Minister. In his column in Indian Express, he narrated one incident, how one Kashmiri girl was questioning about the presence of security forces in civilian areas. Why can't you think of taking away the security forces from civilian areas? Let them be on the borders, but civilian areas. So the Armed Forces Special Powers Act the repeal of Armed Forces Special Powers Act or partial repeal or whatever way which can give confidence to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. That government must consider, sir. It is time. We will have to think over such things. Then there are problem with, there are reports establishing separate colonies, whether for retired army personnel or for Pandits. I do not know what is the approach of the government to settle the Pandits there, because there is a question being raised by Sir, Home Minister, sir, don't misunderstand me. If I am wrong, I stand corrected. Some of your own people talk about changing the demographic composition of Jammu and Kashmir. No, if so, what is that? And some of your people very often question the Article 370. Then why should we have Article 370? Why you again and again question Article 370? And the point is whether we have really implemented Article 370, we have considered the required powers to Jammu and Kashmir, we have given adequate support to Jammu and Kashmir. That must be reviewed. Instead of that, if you start questioning Article 370 and questioning the very constitutional guarantee that has been given to Jammu and Kashmir, then it antagonizes the people of Jammu and Kashmir, it alienates the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and it is the problem which we are facing today. That is why I am urging upon the government. Now, it is Jammu Kashmir. Kashmir is a political issue and it should be addressed politically, and we should find political solution, and we should initiate a political process. Only dialogue is the only way, and dialogue should be held with all stakeholders, including separatists, taking the people of Jammu and Kashmir into confidence, and we should win their confidence. Sir, all the time a reference is made to Pakistan. Even the leader of the House has referred to Pakistan. Even with Pakistan, we have been saying there should be a dialogue, composite dialogue, and we should resume the dialogue process, and war was not proved to be a solution to Indo-Pak relations also. Even Mr. Arun Jaitley has admitted there were wars between India and Pakistan, but we could not solve our problems and they did not provide a solution. So dialogue is the only alternative. And here in case of Jammu and Kashmir, to restore normalcy, to restore peace, and it is necessary that government initiates a political process. There I think the dialogue is the one way, and dialogue with all stakeholders should be initiated. And we should, as a nation, we should speak in one voice. Parliament should speak in one voice. We should express the affected families, victims, and India, when I say Kashmir, it is part of, sir, as a child I used to hear, Kanyakumari to Kashmir, Kanyakumari to Kashmir. That is part of my psyche. And now when Kashmir bleeds, I feel I bleed. The entire nation bleeds. And this bleeding must be stopped. And peace and normalcy must be restored, and for which nation should speak in one voice and Parliament should speak in one voice, and we should find an amicable, peaceful solution. Thank you very much.
Thank you.